In the beginning, he's the picture of patience, thoughtful, respectful, calm. The kind of man who holds doors, remembers anniversaries, and values communication over conflict. He's the man every partner says they want, emotionally intelligent, composed, and kind. But months into a relationship with the wrong woman, something begins to shift. The man who once prided himself on never raising his voice becomes frustrated, reactive, and eventually angry. What changed? This transformation doesn't happen overnight, nor is it the result of intentional malice. It stems from a subtle, often unconscious pattern of psychological conditioning, a process that many women unknowingly initiate and many men don't recognize until it's too late. Relationships as laboratories of behavior. Every relationship functions as a behavioral experiment. Without realizing it, the woman becomes the scientist and the man becomes the subject. His actions, especially his attempts to communicate respectfully, are either reinforced or extinguished based on how she responds. It starts when the man raises a concern calmly, maybe about her being late, dismissing his opinions, or flirting inappropriately. His gentle approach is met with deflection, minimization, or dismissal. He's told he's too sensitive, controlling, or simply ignored. These repeated non-responses teach him a dangerous lesson. Respectful communication doesn't work. The escalation algorithm. When his calm words continually fall on deaf ears, the patient man begins unconsciously searching for a style that does work. This search leads him down the path of escalation. Each failed attempt at respectful communication nudges him toward louder, more emotionally charged expressions. Eventually, often after months or years, he raises his voice in frustration, and something unexpected happens. She listens. She responds, apologizes, promises to change. For the first time, he feels heard. And so a new behavioral pattern is reinforced. Anger works. Respect doesn't. The 3 roads of transformation. At this pivotal point, the patient man faces a psychological crossroads. The escalation highway. He begins to use anger as a regular communication tool. Over time, it becomes his default. Though he doesn't enjoy being angry, he learns to rely on it. He becomes the man he once judged, trapped in what psychologists might call anger addiction. Not because it feels good, but because it's the only method that gets results. 2. The internal collapse. Alternatively, he may choose silence. Horrified at his own anger, he shuts down emotionally. He stops expressing his needs and boundaries, becoming passive and emotionally absent. This learned helplessness creates deep resentment and psychological damage as he slowly loses himself to keep the peace. 3. The strategic exit. The healthiest, though most difficult option is to leave. He recognizes the pattern and decides not to participate. Instead of sacrificing his identity to maintain the relationship, he chooses to preserve his integrity, even if it means being alone. The respect recession. When calm communication is consistently ignored and only anger gets results, a respect recession sets in. The patient man begins to feel that his respectful nature is not valued. His best self, calm, clear, kind, is ineffective, while the version he despises, aggressive, loud, is rewarded. Over time, this conditioning erodes his self-respect and reshapes his identity. Ironically, the woman in this dynamic often believes she supports healthy masculinity. She says she wants a kind, emotionally mature man, but inadvertently creates an environment where only aggression cuts through the noise. She doesn't realize that by ignoring respectful communication, she is training her partner to become someone she ultimately cannot respect. The double bind for patient men are caught in a no-win scenario. Society tells them that anger is toxic masculinity, that raising their voice is abuse. But their partners may only respond to communication once it reaches that level. If they remain calm, they're ignored. If they escalate, they're vilified. The result is emotional and moral confusion. Do they remain silent and unseen, or speak up and become someone they don't recognize? Breaking the cycle. This isn't about blaming women or absolving men of responsibility. It's about recognizing how unconscious behavior creates harmful dynamics. For women, the solution starts with treating calm, respectful communication with the same seriousness they give to anger. Acknowledge concerns when they are gently expressed, not after an explosion. For men, it's about setting expectations early and refusing to participate in a dynamic that erodes their character. I communicate calmly. If that doesn't work in this relationship, it's not the right relationship for me. Final reflection. The most tragic aspect of this dynamic is that it most often affects the men who try the hardest to do things right. The ones who value patience and respect. These men aren't born angry. They're shaped by a relationship environment that punishes calm and rewards rage. Changing this starts with awareness. We must create relationship cultures where respectful communication isn't just tolerated, but valued. Where patient men don't have to become angry men to be heard. And where women recognize their role in shaping the communication styles they claim to prefer. Because when respect requires volume and patience is punished with indifference, we all lose.